Chapter 249 to 250. It was a quiet summer day, as hot as they came in the fire country that was named after its never-ending warm climate, and Anko enjoyed her moment of peace by drinking cool beer and enjoying the occasional pleasant breeze while sitting in the shade on the porch of her house in the Senju compound, listening to the soft chirping of crickets. No overly cheerful Naruto demanding she teaches him techniques he is not even prepared for. The kid was smart and knew his shit, but he was just so exuberant towards her ever since he found out she genuinely cared. No steaming Hinata, suffering from overheating anytime she was close to the orange-wearing empty-head pretender, and fainting, leaving Anko to take care of her until she woke up. God, she was getting used to unexpected visits from concerned Hiyashi about Hinata's condition. Anko shuddered as she remembered the flirtatious note in the old Hyuga's tone the last time he demanded a discussion about his daughter's progress. Sure, the man probably held Anko in high regard, considering she stopped portraying all that slut image and actually managed to break Hinata's shy shell in matters of days, making a complete mockery of his years-long attempts, but flirting with her was a bit too much. It was sweet, though, seeing that Hiyashi actually cared about Hinata, and he simply had no idea how to raise her into a strong woman. That's where Anko came in, and now the girl only acted ineptly around Naruto and has actually already beaten her younger sister in a spar. Yay, she won against her 4-year-old sister. Anko somewhat couldn't take that as a worthwhile achievement, but well, whatever makes the stuck-up white eyes happy. Hey, Hyugas were weird like that. Anyway, Anko made it her mission to stop any subtle advances Hiyashi Hyuga tried on her. She was barely leaving her teenage years, and an old half-stuck-up stickler for rules was eyeing her just because she helped his daughter gain a measure of self-confidence. All it took for her to get attention was to stop wearing clothes that proclaimed she would sleep around for dango and whatnot. Not happening. Don't go there, brain. Go back to sleep. Anko Hyuga has a really bad ring to it. Anko disgruntledly mused, thinking up excuses to avoid Hiyashi the next time he gets it into his head to invite her for a family dinner. Then again, it's still better than that marriage proposal from the lone survivor of the Shimura clan. Anko shuddered again, this time in disgust, momentarily choking on her beer. Yeah, now that she was officially accepted as an honorary Senju, some really fishy and decrepit individuals tried to sink their claws into her. Idiots! As if Lady Tsunade let their dirty paws anywhere near the Senju wealth or library. Anko snorted at the notion that they could get anywhere near it through her while gazing at the sky in contentment. Despite all the uncomfortable situations, Anko was grateful for Lady Tsunade offering her this chance, which completely changed her life for the better. There was only one of her supposed students Anko didn't miss, the Uchiha. One nice calm afternoon, her bright orange-wearing idiot wannabe actor dragged in screaming and kicking Sasuke Uchiha, enthusiastically proclaiming he found a new friend, utterly ignoring the piercing and irritated looks the duck-butt-haired broody kid was throwing his way. In the end, the Uchiha relented and joined their training sessions. Anko might not have liked it, but she came to care about Naruto too much to just say, "Fuck off," and ruin it for him. That said, the look in the Uchiha's eyes was still unsettling. She knew what he felt. She was there, not at the same level of low, but she was pretty close after Orochimaru betrayed her. Anko had nothing against the kid himself. She simply didn't believe somebody in so much repressed emotional pain should be anywhere near her. The Uchiha did not need her or her tutelage. The kid needed a hardcore year-long session with Yamanaka. Then there was all the political bullshit when it came out she was training the last loyal Uchiha headcase. Heh, even the elders called the kid unstable in between the lines. Anko giggled before bursting into genuine laughter. Then again, they have called me worse. No wonder they have a problem with me teaching the kid, one depressed headcase teaching another. Throwing those kunai so close to his jugular might not have been the brightest idea. Hey, who cares? A hospital stay would do him some good. It was all in good humor, after all. A few non-washable bloodstains near the neck area would teach the kid he is not invincible, or traumatize him some more. Fun thoughts. I must give it to Naruto. Dragging Uchiha here was a prank worthy of prankster God, Anko whispered as she took another sip from her drink. Civilians simply didn't know how to react when the last loyal Uchiha princeling appeared together with the Uzumaki demonish menace. Oh, Anko had no delusions that Naruto befriended Uchiha out of some misplaced sense of camaraderie. That was the first thing she has beaten out of him. She made sure to hammer all Konoha propaganda out of his head early on. If given a chance, Anko doubted Naruto would become a ninja for Konoha after her tutoring sessions. She, however, made it damn clear he has no such chance because of his tenant. No. Naruto befriended Uchiha to mess with the heads of civilians and council alike. Honestly, the kid was becoming as bad as Hatake Kakashi. She should have never explained psychological warfare to him. Using Kakashi as an example of what not to do might have been a bad idea too. Well, who knew being a big sister was such hard work? The first time Naruto attempted to come late to their training sessions, Anko dragged him from the Ichiraku ramen stand by his ankle so erratically he puked all the ramen out on himself by the time they reached the Senju compound, and then she made him practice taijutsu katas without letting him change his clothes, all the while she was throwing senbons at him, aiming at the most painful but otherwise harmful places. She might or might not have added a bit of pain-intensifying poison to the mix, but hey, she is here to teach the kid, not to coddle him. Anko was resolved. On the briefest sign of relapse, she would beat the Kakashism out of him, no matter if it was the last thing in the kid's life. Kyuubi Jinchuriki or not, there were easier ways to destroy Konoha than creating another Kakashi Hatake wannabe. Back to the Uchiha kid. Anko simply had no idea how to break his revenge-filled determination. How could she? She herself had an obsession with Orochimaru and was proud of it. If Orochimaru appeared in Konoha right now, Anko would most likely run and try to kill him despite knowing she was too weak. How could she forbid Uchiha to do such a thing when she herself would be unable to lead by an example? Being a teacher is such a drag, Anko muttered with a sigh. You will get no argument about that from me. A voice resounded from nearby, jolting Anko to full awareness, causing her to jump on her feet and grab the kunai hidden in her sleeve near instantly. She prepared for a fight, only to owlishly blink as her eyes landed on a blonde-haired woman watching her with smug satisfaction at her bewildered look. Vacation? Tsunade inquisitively lifted her eyebrow at the literal stack of beer and sake bottles strewn around the porch. Anko furrowed her brows before she realized what Tsunade was looking at, causing her to blush from embarrassment. Realizing she wasn't setting a stellar example, she ducked her head and tried to give Tsunade an innocent look. "Welcome home, Lady Tsunade?" Only to be smacked upside down by Tsunade, sending her gently, according to Tsunade's standards, face first into the ground. Tsunade just rolled her eyes at the now downed, unruly girl, not even attempting to hide her small, amused smile. "Yeah, I am home." The sarcasm in that sentence was felt even by the fabled fence-sitter back in Iwa, causing him a shudder. After greetings, Tsunade sat down around a small wooden table on the porch, enjoying the shade and refreshments Anko quickly brought out from her secret anti-Naruto stash. The two women leisurely drank sake as Anko was giving Tsunade a slow update on what was going on in the village. Anko really couldn't help but cherish the leisure atmosphere. She knew Tsunade wasn't one for formality, and neither was she so not having to bow or rigidly stand, while giving her report was quite appreciated by the young snake mistress. Nevertheless, she was indeed very curious about this sudden visit of her wayward clan head. "Lady Tsunade, it's been 2 hours already. Don't you think Lord Hokage is taking his sweet time? I thought he would be knocking our gates down the second he was informed about your arrival. You know how much resources the man put forward to locate you. Anko grimaced. Honestly, he is asking me about your location at least once per week. Ah, Tsunade smirked. I have sneaked in through one of the old hidden entrances Uncle Tobarama created for our clan. There is nobody to notify the old monkey about my presence as of yet. Anko owlishly blinked at Tsunade and grinned. Ah, is that so? There were only so many reasons Tsunade could have to avoid detection when coming home. If it was Jiraiya, Anko wouldn't have wasted her time, knowing the man simply skipped the gate in order to get a few minutes more for peeping. Then again, that might have been the reason why the man was such a good spy. Nobody expected him to do anything but perving on women. Tsunade, however, was a completely different jar of cookies. Well, Anko still couldn't forget how the woman played her like a fiddle when they met for the first time. Sure, it was for Anko's own benefit, but still. No matter how grateful she was to Tsunade for opening her eyes, that meeting made it abundantly clear that scheming Tsunade was dangerous Tsunade. I wonder how much mayhem she is going to cause now that she is actually present in the village. That's so. Tsunade lazily nodded and took another sip of sake. Meh. It wouldn't do to alert him of my presence. I have a few goals to accomplish here. She hummed and looked Anko straight into the eyes. There are two things you forgot to inform me about when it comes to the recent happenings of the village. Anko stiffened, mentally trying to figure out what she could have missed. The spy network she set up in Konoha was not the best, but it was sufficient. She didn't want to disappoint Tsunade. What exactly do you mean, Lady Tsunade? I told you all I know, she said, feeling a bit awkward as she tried to defend herself. Tsunade simply waved her free hand in a dismissive manner. I am not blaming you or anything. Stop being so serious. Geez, relax. She rolled her eyes. Yesterday, I killed every single root Anbu I could find in the root base under Konoha, and then I made the said base permanently unusable for any other function than a graveyard, she stated in a disinterested tone as if she was talking about the weather, causing Anko to gape. I then left a bloody present for Danzo Shimura in his living room. Huh, he took the bait hook line sinker. Apparently, there will be an emergency meeting of the council tomorrow thanks to the old mummy. So that's why the ANBU were so frantically running around the village during the night. Wait, you massacred over 200 people to make Danzo call an emergency meeting? Anko asked weakly in an incredulous tone, not knowing how to take that bit of information. Sure, Anko was one ruthless kunoichi. She had her fair share of assassination missions behind herself, and these were her favorite. But it is quite different to kill one person because of a cause you believe in and simply get rid of hundreds just because they were in the way. Heh, maybe that's why I wouldn't be good as a leader. The thought briefly flashed through Anko's head. Of course not. Tsunade rebuked as if she just heard something ridiculous, causing Anko to release a relieved breath. I killed them because trying to subvert their loyalty to Danzo would be a pain in the ass. How do you persuade a brainwashed individual that his brainwasher is a bad person? She flippantly added with a gentle shake of her head. Anko threw Tsunade a deadpan gaze, but inwardly, she had to admit that it might be a bit bigger problem than one would think at first. But Tsunade was, from what Anko experienced, quite good at persuading people to see her point. Seeing the doubts in Anko's expression, Tsunade elaborated. This is a ninja village, Anko. The only people who are allowed to have their own forces are Hokage and clans. Hokage is the de facto leader of the whole ninja force, while there is no way to forbid the clans from having their own loyal ninjas short of slaughtering them all. Clan ninjas are always loyal to their clan first and only then the village. There are very few exceptions to that rule, and it's for this very reason that the Hokage is kept in check despite being somewhat of a dictator. Danzo Shimura is neither, Anko added. She never really thought about it from this angle. Why would she? Mitarashi might have been quite a strong clan, focusing on various poisons during the village founding, but now she was the only one left. Heck, after Orochimaru defected, leaving her behind, the clan assets somehow mysteriously disappeared before she could inherit anything. When she inquired about it, she was bluntly told Orochimaru stole everything from scrolls to money. When they told her that, she was just a kid. But lately, Anko didn't know how much she believed that to be the truth. Therefore, Root should have been integrated into the village after making sure they will be loyal. Their very existence meant this village went to shits. The second sensei overlooked Danzo, taking in orphans and then making them into emotionless drones. Konoha became something any senju would loathe, proving the whole council corrupt beyond repair. Tsunade continued, not minding the brief, thoughtful expression on Anko's face. But killing 200 ninjas? Anko furrowed her brows. The village has around 4,000 active ninjas, which isn't much considering Kyuubi and Uchiha massacre. We are still recovering our forces. Ha! I simply think killing them was wasteful. In the past, Root Anbu was filled by Anbu who wanted to give more to the village. They took the most dangerous missions behind the enemy lines during the war. They helped the village a lot. But Sensei disbanded Root, and from then on, Danzo decided to go about it in a different way. He started again, training kids and making them loyal only to himself. This extermination was a long time coming, and, to be honest, I am very disappointed it had to be me who performed it, and not the village's ANBU. Tsunade sighed before offhandedly adding, "Then again, it can be counted as my first act as the 5th Hokage." "I see." Anko nodded before her head caught up to what Tsunade told her. "Wait, what? You are taking over the village?" Tsunade threw Anko a funny look. "Isn't that obvious? Pray tell, why else would I come back? It's high time someone kicked Hiruzen's ass out of his comfy chair. That said, I will need you to run some errands for me first before the emergency meeting." She gave Anko a knowing smirk that brought the young woman an unwelcome sense of foreboding. Seeing it, Anko closed her eyes and rubbed the bridge of her nose. "Hyugas?" she resignedly asked. "Hyugas," Tsunade gleefully confirmed. Ma, don't be so disheartened. After you finish with it, I am going to fulfill another part of our deal. I made sure to create a nice and utterly painful training regime just for you. If you want to kill Orochimaru, you will have to suffer for it first, nay?" Needless to say, Anko was not a happy camper.